to Mindfully Spiritual. Today I am going to do a reading about our inner child. I got this from Kate Van Horn. You can find her on all social media. And it's just a spread that has 4 cards. First is, when does my inner child feel joy? How does my inner child feel safe, cared for? And what my inner child wants to express, and what will bring me closer to my inner child. I'll have to look back down there when I lay it out again. All right. So we're gonna ask Spirit for a general with this, and then we'll go to the specifics, okay? All right. Transformation, a fresh new way of being emerges. Cool. Valiant courage again, take action with passion. That one's come up a lot lately. And this one is desert passage. Trust there's a divine plan. Alrighty. Alrighty. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this reading is because there have been a lot of messages coming up from Spirit around inner child healing. And no surprise, many of us have inner child healing. That's the conditioned beliefs and expectations and things about ourselves we've been told from a very early age. Comes from families of origin, comes from the culture you live in. All of those things together add up to our beliefs that we leave childhood with. So depending on how our family system worked, we could grow up with both, right? We'll have some good characteristics and some ones that cause us problems. But a lot of times our parents, just like we have been, burdened with a lot of trauma that literally has come through our DNA, so that we are carrying trauma from the ages. And it is time for us to heal some of this stuff so that we can all raise up, right? Some people had inner child beliefs, were told they weren't worthy. That's a big one. That's hard for people to get over. It takes a lot of work. If you are told over and over in different ways that you are not worthy, why would you believe otherwise? So lots of us are stuck with these thoughts that we didn't create, others did, but we picked them up because we were kids, and that's what you do. You follow along, right? And that's how you stay safe, as you follow along. So desert passage, trust there's a divine plan. So that, there is a divine plan. We chose to come here. Our soul chose to come here and experience humanness, and to help actually raise the Earth's vibration so that we could stop being such boneheads to each other. Because we had lessons to learn, and that's what we're here to learn them and move forward. And we also are learning those not just for ourselves, our ancestors, as well as the collective we belong to. All right, so, whoops. Come on. Whoop. Oh no. Yeah, okay. So first we're gonna do card 1. Whoops, sorry. Card 1, card 2, card 3, and card 4. When my inner child feels joy. Inner child feels joy at a creative spark, at some kind of inspiration, seeing something that inspires them. for me, I like to watch musicals. I like to perform in them too, many years ago. But that's the kind of thing like that lights me up, watching a musical. It's a creative venture. It's a form of expression. It's a way to learn things as well, right? So that's an example in this case of an Ace of Wands. The next is how my inner child feels safe, heard, and seen. So when my inner child feels safe, heard, and seen when I'm able to be the one leading. Because, you know, if I'm the one leading, then I can't go wrong. I'm not having to follow someone else's path. That for me is very big. My inner child wants to go her own way, wants to experience things for herself. So sometimes when people will explain something to me, I'll go and do it anyway. And they're like, didn't you believe me? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with belief. I need to experience it. I need to go through it because I glean more as I experience it, right? So that is one way that I, excuse me, feel seen and heard, leading, when I'm speaking truth, when I'm in my integrity, when I am fully myself and not trying to shapeshift to adapt to fit other people's version of who I should be. This energy is intellectual. That's also something that brings me joy. Intellectual conversations, just like, woo, that's so much fun. So that's an example for you. What my inner child wants to express. Well, my inner child wants to express the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands, right, is to make a choice. And for me, this card, because it shows, you know, choosing that wand, and it shows the world is really being held in another hand. I really see this as my inner child wanting to step out and show people something. So like I'm doing here, my inner child likes to step out. What was this? Oh. And I have experience being in front of an audience, so it doesn't overwhelm me like it can for some, although it took me so long to come to YouTube. You might not believe that. But really, it's about making a choice for the big picture, not just for myself, but for the world. My choice is to step out in service of the world, to take my gifts and offer them to the world. And then what will bring me closer to my inner child? Look at that. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is being fair. It's also being generous, sharing. I will say though, the first word that I thought was generous. And what I thought was, often I'm not generous to myself. I might give someone else the benefit of the doubt. And how often do we give generosity to ourselves? How often are we busy comparing ourselves to other people? 6 is a number of exchange and flowing. And so we're going to get closer to our inner child when we are fair to them, when we share our abundance, our resources, and when we're generous with how we envision and work with this inner child. This is really cool. I still would like to do obstacles and blocks. We have to trust that, I'm just looking at this desert passage again. We have to trust that all this work that we're doing is for the greater good, and there's a point to it. We're not just suffering to suffer. As we heal ourselves, our inner child, we become lighter, right? Because we're releasing things that don't serve us, and we can share our light more easily. So let's talk about what obstacles, please, what obstacles and blocks are ahead. Devil, Justice, and Eight of Wands. Okay. Can I have one for the Devil? Okay. So obstacles and blocks to healing our inner child, right? The devil, the devil is attachments of any kind, because if we are attached to someone, something, or an outcome, if we don't have those things, they're taken from us, then we have nothing. So we want to be balanced within ourselves and not attached to things. Addictions are under the devil. So anything that you are so attached to that you compulsively do, could even be thinking, remember? So I don't want you to stick to just like substances, but think about, in fact, it's the Page of Swords. So what thinking are you attached to? What thoughts are you attached to that are blocking your healing of your inner child? I ask you. Okay, justice. Justice is about being fair. It's about balance as opposed to the imbalance, right? But in this case, the justice may have to do with some legal piece. It often does, and oh, maybe you have some attachments to thoughts about what's fair and what's just. And that may be part of the issue, is that perhaps you are really off balance and thinking that something that is unfair is fair. So you want to take a look at anything that is in imbalance. And then this is fast movement. It's usually downloads from the universe. So if you are not moving, if you are stuck or stagnant, or you've lost your passion, that could be part of the block. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Actions and advice, please. Okay. So, actions and advice. Hold on. Let me get one for death, please. Thank you. And one for... Thank you. Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Actions and advice in terms of healing your inner child. This says that you may be doing some of the work, but some of what you are, the reason you're still in this is that things are changing. You're in this transformation, right? And the Two of Wands that we talked about earlier is about sort of asking for what you want, putting yourself out there in the world. And this is being the one who is trusting that there is a point to this, that there's a divine purpose. And therefore, you are meant for this purpose and your ships are coming in. You do have to wait for some divine timing. But the biggest action is the Fool. Start again. No expectations, no connections, attachments to anything from the past. Fresh, brand new. Excuse me. Don't be reckless or careless, but step lightly. Start fresh and have be more curious. The Fool is curious, not so much, he doesn't know the story. He's ready to ask questions. And this transformation is going to lead you to a celebration. And it may even, this transformation may even be the work that you need to do before your ship comes in, before your love comes in, before your job comes in. Not really sure what is waiting on this, but something is. This transformation is waiting on some of this healing. Yeah, and it gives you really strong foundations, right? When you have healed parts of yourself. And so, you know, celebrate that. Celebrate what you're healing. And messages from your higher self. 5 of Wands, the World, and the Hangman. Oi, okay. This, excuse me. This inner child healing is no joke. This is bringing you to enlightenment. This is bringing you to a place of really understanding your purpose here. So it looks to me like doing this inner child healing is going to bring you to the place of knowing what your purpose is, knowing where you want to go from here. Okay, and remember I talked about, so here's the 5 of Wands. I talked about this a couple of days ago. You want to put an end to any hostility, any arguments, any competition that you're engaging in, because there's no need for competition. You are your authentic, unique self, and we need you to be that. We need everybody to be who they are. We can learn from each other. We can grow with each other, but we don't need to compete. And we need to end that. We need to end that for the world, because this belief in competition, this need to compete, to win, to be the winner, totally neglects any thoughts about what is healthy and good for us and healing for us. And we could decide that to be a winner, that means you're growing. Not that there's winners and losers, but that a winner is somebody who's moving forward and taking what they have and co-creating a beautiful life from that. So you want to end that cycle. You want to collaborate with people, work together, find community, not so much with the competition. And the Hangman is a new perspective, part of that transformation. It is just a totally new way of looking at things. And imagine if we heal our inner child, what the world would look like. I mean, how would things be different if none of us carried all that pain with us? If we released it, felt it, and released it. This is cool. I love doing sort of alternative spreads because I really am into this finding our way through our healing in our spiritual journey. Okay, I hope this works for you guys because this was really helpful. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, guys.